Hi, this is Lana White. I'm here to talk about some best practices for effective communication, reasons that there are some challenges and difficulties in higher education, and then some ways to help de-escalate situations when they are getting a little too much. So a couple of quick things. Meeting times, face-to-face, super important. Definitely want to have a set time, once a week, twice a week, once every other week, but something that everyone knows that is the time they are meeting as a team to work on their curriculum or the project, whatever it is together that they're collaborating on, if it's common assessments, something like that. But you know that time is built into your day. Grading needs to be put aside. Other stuff needs to not be the priority at that time. No multitasking. You want to make sure that you are focused on who is speaking at that time. Make sure you're working on those active listening skills, asking them to repeat themselves if they're not sure of what you've said, using eye contact. And I think really people will feel more valued when they're communicating if they know they have your full attention. So as hard as it is for some of us to unplug or disconnect from our phones or our laptops because we're trying to get other stuff done, it's important for us to just take that time, close the laptop, put the phone down, whatever it is, to know that we're working together and everyone's voice is being heard and respected. Some other things that I think are important to kind of work towards are some team building. Most likely as teachers, like we have our students do team builders to help get to know them and build that class culture. I think it's important for your project team members to kind of get to know each other and trust that the understanding is there that everyone's going to get their work done. And it seems silly as adults, but I think it can help with some icebreakers to just get to know people, and it kind of relaxes things so it's not quite as tense. And then you can kind of get to know each other and know that that's the level of trust is there for everyone to get their stuff done. Moving on to some reasons why communication can be difficult in higher education settings. Sometimes it's an age thing, can be a gender thing, just different life experiences, languages, cultures. There's a lot of things that can cause diversity in a classroom setting, in a faculty setting, a team setting, whatever it is. And they can, be both positive and negative at times. But for everyone to feel that they are valued and heard and respected, you kind of have to look at those differences and take them for what they are and work to their advantage. So if one person is really strong, savvy in technology, use them as your kind of coach for the other people who might not be as strong in working with technology and stuff like that. Some other reasons are just the different backgrounds, life backgrounds, and having bad experiences with working with people in other situations. Some people will jump to the conclusion that they'll assume, well, I'm gonna have to do this all myself. So trying to have that, it comes back to that layer of trust and open communication, that if there is feedback, if there is criticism, it's done in a respectful manner. Sometimes those crucial conversations can be really hard, really challenging to have, but so important for your team to be able to continue and move forward in a productive manner. A couple of ways that you can work on de-escalating a situation is to take a step back, evaluate the situation, really look for the facts of what has happened and what has occurred or what's happening, and think about some ways to solutions to the problem. Another thing to look at is just having empathy. Sometimes that person is just coming from a place of hurt and is just reacting to the situation, whereas they're not really thinking it through at that moment. So it's giving them that time and space to recollect themselves. Maybe do some praying during that time too, and pray for them if they're in a hard spot and they're more lashing out than they are just having an issue with other people in the group. But I think if you can include God in these situations, and you don't have to tell them if they are not Christian, they're not a believer, you don't have to tell them you're praying for them. But I think that especially when it's a situation that is really escalating and getting kind of out of control, bring God into it first. And then also if you have to bring in a mediator or someone totally outside of the realm, bring them in too. So those are some of the things that I've learned about while doing this project.